Today, we're going to crack open the playbook of a world champion trader who pretty much turned the entire industry on its head. And how'd she do it? Well, she achieved these absolutely dreamlike results by breaking nearly every single rule in the book. So, what kind of results are we talking about? How about a 320% return in a single year? Yeah, that's the number that landed trader Marci Silfrain second place in a super competitive Robbins World Cup. But honestly, that huge number, it isn't even the most interesting part of her story. And this, right here, gets to the heart of why her story is so compelling. She's not selling you a course. She's not pushing some affiliate link. She has zero ulterior motive. And that means the insights she shares are completely unfiltered, totally raw, and just incredibly valuable. So the big question is, how did she do it? Her whole journey really starts by just demolishing the single biggest myth in trading, this idea that there's some kind of shortcut to success. Yeah, her success was not an overnight thing, not even close. We're talking about a 15-year journey, and that included a brutal 10-year stretch she calls the struggle. And during that decade, she lost $250,000 of her own money and even had to go back to a 9-to-5 job just to stay afloat. And this is the core belief that was forged in that decade of failure. She is just adamant that real trading skill isn't something you can buy or learn from some guru. As she puts it, you can't pay someone to do the push-ups for you. You have to earn it yourself through relentless, painful, hands-on experience. And that leads right into the second myth she completely busts. This fantasy that you can get elite results by just, trading for an hour or two a day. Her philosophy is all about practice, and, you guessed it, more practice. This comparison it's just fascinating. So, on the left, you've got the typical approach. But on the right, you have Marci's method. See, she treats trading like she's a professional athlete. She spends way more time in practice, that means sim trading, backtesting, and just staring at charts until, in her words, they start speaking to you, than she does in the actual game of live trading. For her, this just isn't some casual hobby. The whole idea of putting in part-time effort and expecting full-time, world-class results is completely alien to her. It's an all-consuming obsession, and she believes that's the only way you can ever achieve greatness. Okay, this is where her strategy gets really counterintuitive. She completely reframes the entire psychology of trading, specifically how she thinks about winning, losing, and of course, emotion. This is the absolute bedrock of her mental game. Just think about how radical this is for a second. Most people go into a trade hoping to win. She enters every single trade planning to lose. By expecting and preparing for a catastrophic losing streak, she completely neutralizes the emotional fear of failure before it can even get its hooks in you. And here's the difference in action. Ego-based trading, that's all about feeling good, about needing to be right. You take those small wins for that little dopamine hit. But P&L, profit and loss-based trading, her style, is purely about making money. She accepts that she might be wrong more often than she's right, but when she's right, she lets those winners run for massive, massive gains. And here's another myth she just shatters. The goal isn't to become some trading robot that doesn't have feelings. She says that's impossible. The real skill, the one that separates the pros from the amateurs, is developing the self-awareness to recognize when your emotions are starting to kick in, and then having the discipline to just walk away. The moment you feel fear or greed, you stop. So after all those years of struggle, after losing $250,000, Marci managed to distill the entire complex challenge of trading down to a bottle against just two fundamental forces. That's it. In her mind, these are the only two opponents a trader ever really has to defeat. Everything else, every strategy, every indicator, every market event, it's all secondary to conquering your own ego and managing your leverage. So how do you fight them? Well, for ego, the danger is that constant need to be right, which leads to stuff like revenge trading. The antidote? Her plan to lose mindset. For leverage, using borrowed capital to juice your returns, the danger is obvious. One bad bet can end your career. The antidote is to size your trades so you can survive even the absolute worst-case scenario. Her whole system is basically a fortress built to protect against these two enemies. So after exploring her journey, her practice habits, and her whole mindset, what's the ultimate takeaway from this incredibly unconventional playbook? What is the real secret? The secret isn't a secret at all. It's not some magic formula or innate talent. According to Marci, exceptional results in any field come from a level of dedication that, to the outside world, looks like a psychotic obsession, a total, all-consuming commitment to mastering a craft. And this brings us to the final, really provocative thought. Her story forces us to look in the mirror and ask a question that goes way beyond the trading charts. Forget about shortcuts and easy answers. The real question is, what goal, what craft, what ambition is so important to you that you are willing to become psychotically obsessed to achieve it? What are you willing to pay the true price of greatness for?